Good morning, everyone. Hope you're well. Got it right yesterday. Obviously, I had it round the wrong way, so you have me today. Hopefully, everyone's had a lovely weekend, was able to enjoy the sunshine. It looks really nice out there again today, which is great. So, yeah, excellent. Right, there we go. Straight away. There we go. That's good. So, let's... Oh, there we go. View request. Oh, there we go. Hello, hello. And... easy and it has been the last couple of days. We've had a couple of mishaps, so hopefully, I know James is a bit of a, he's done this before, so he knows what he's doing. There we go. Hello, you all
Hi.
right?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. How are you, Jason?
Yeah, I'm really good, really good. Loving the hair.
Thanks. I washed it
Looks
especially.
good. I'm glad I put mine up now, so we're not in competition. Hair
Yeah.
envy, hair envy.
Yeah. Well,
You
you
get
wouldn't
a
say
lot of
that
that?
if. Well, recently, I've only kind of like discovered that I had like wavy hair.
That's great.
Because for years I just kind of like straightened it or blow
Yeah,
dried it, like kind of, so it was just straight and stuff. But yeah, so kind of
you got cool
embracing
hair.
the natural look.
Yeah,
So
the
thank
natural
you.
look. So please introduce yourself, your business, and tell us what you make and sell.
Yeah, so I'm James. I'm one half of a house like this, and we are a home fragrance and aromatherapy company specializing in soy wax candles, aromatherapy treatments, and skincare. So, yeah.
Fantastic, cool. And so, why did you set up your business, and how did you come up with your business name?
So yeah, it's a bit of a long story, but
Go for it.
in 2016 we bought our house for the first time, and it needed like renovating. So we were looking on Instagram, Pinterest, magazines, and we kept on like seeing like these amazing houses, being like, oh, I want a house like this, or I want a house like this, and when we finally decided to make an Instagram account for ourselves to kind of like document the process, we were like, oh, let's call it a house like this, because we kept on saying it throughout the whole process. Um, and then in the Christmas time, we'd already spent pretty much all our money on paint and all the other stuff that goes with it, like buying washing machines that we'd never bought before.
Yeah,
So we made candles for our friends and family. And they really loved it. We really enjoyed making them because I feel like a handmade present is always kind of like, it's a really nice thing to give someone. And me and Kai, we'd always wanted to make a business together and kind
yeah,
of like pool our like skills, because like he's got like a marketing background, I've got kind of like an art and fashion and graphics background, and we both loved like fragrance anyway. So it felt like a good fit for us. So then, yeah, so that was 2018 when we started it, and then the rest is kind of history.
yeah.
So,
Cool,
yeah.
cool.
Oh,
And
and as
what would
well, it's
you?
kind of like a nod to like the 90s show of like, who lives in a house like this? We do. So,
Yeah, cool,
yeah.
cool. And as well, anyone watching this, you've got another Instagram page, and it's got all of your interior design as such, hasn't it? There with the house.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
which
so we
looks
love kind
amazing.
of like interiors and, fragrance. So, yeah.
Yeah,
In the
yeah.
future, we'd
And
love
what?
to become like a Rocket St. George or something gorgeous like that, but that's long in the future.
Definitely, definitely. It's good to dream. That's a question later. So, what would you say makes your candles? Because at the moment, as well, it feels like there's a lot of people out there who are doing candles and getting into it as well. And I know as well. There's some really great ones out there, and there are not so great ones. There's somebody the other day who was kind of they were showing their candles, but they were like making them in the kitchen with all of their kitchenware. And I was like, oh no, this is just like, it's not, quite the standard that we'd expect. But what would you say makes your candles different from the other candles out there?
So the candles that we make, we straight from the get go, we were like, we need to make them like as strong as possible, because
Yep.
we used to buy like a ludicrous amount of candles anyway, and always find like they smell amazing when you bought them, you'd burn them, and then like an hour later, you'd be like, oh, where's the smell? Where's this, like, and
Yeah.
it was just really like infuriating. So it's that, like, especially, but also the glassware. It's this specially designed like violet glass,
Yep.
and it protects the contents from like UVA and UVB rays. And yeah, it's kind of after it's been used, it's really great for storing other natural products in it. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like got a dual use. So yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, because
Yeah.
as well, and you know, as you know, Dapper Suave, we have our own candles, so we know all of what goes into it. And you know, you do get some candles we've had before where, believe it or not, I remember we bought a candle once, and the wick, believe it, had only been put in halfway, so you got half a
Oh,
candle,
what?
and then you couldn't do anything with it. And you know, we have
Yeah.
a care guide about how long you burn it for, and all of the different things about cutting the wick. And there's all this kind of what goes into it, the care of a candle, isn't it? That's quite important.
Yeah. And as
Yeah.
well, like, you know, when you're buying a candle from like a small independent one, you know that they've been made like handmade by the people that are selling them. Whereas like the bigger
Yes.
brands, they're like in massive factories, like
Yeah.
it's literally like no one cares about like how they're made. So that's how like a wick can end up only going halfway down the jar.
Yeah.
And it's like a bad experience really. So
And also,
yeah.
isn't it, is that they put other stuff in it as well, so you're not getting the proper essential oils, and you know from a good quality candle of you know the smell and the senses that you get as well, isn't it?
Yeah, no, definitely. There's and as well, there's a lot of kind of like gray area and like people kind of like saying like, oh, it's mineral wax, but it's like that's just kind of a posher word for like paraffin wax, which is like petroleum
Yes.
based. And so yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of people that buy into the
Yeah.
hype of certain brands when they don't know the full story behind them.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's
Yeah.
enough of like throwing shade
No,
on
no, but it's good as well.
because
It's as well, isn't it? That people have got different things that they like from a candle, as such, isn't it? You know, that it's the kind of the you know as well. I think there used to be a time, as we said before, a candle would be for Christmas, wouldn't it? You get that smelly kind of or that kind of Christmassy smell. Where now you've got so many different candles, and sometimes I sit in the office and I have a cat, and so does Rob. And we have candles on because the scents it's kind of chills you and mellows you as well, which I don't think as well. I wouldn't touch a Yankee candle anymore now. Like just the thought of that jar and the smell, and it's so artificial, isn't it? So,
yeah.
whereabouts are you based? Where is your workspace? Where do you make all your candles and everything?
So we make all of our products in a house like this,
Yep.
but we've got a spare room, and that's kind of like my office, and kind of that's where I do my day to day, as well as like kind of doing some laptop work on this table that I'm at right now. And we've recently rented a garage nearby, so we
Cool.
can kind of have all the market stuff in there and like the
Yep.
empty jars and stuff like that. So that's been like a really big game changer for us, to have the space to kind of expand into, and then eventually kind of, I don't know, expand even more, probably take the whole row of the garages. But so
sorry, go.
but yeah, no, so we're in sunny South Norwood as well, so which is great. It's such a good little location because we can kind of prong off into all different areas. Because we're both useless Londoners and can't drive, so we're very reliant on public transport.
So, would you say that is there a favourite item that you have that you like to create, and why have you chosen that?
Yeah, I kind of think it's like asking to pick a favourite child.
Exactly. That's why I kind of do it, to see what you say. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I love like designing like all the packaging. Like I feel like it's a really great way of me to kind of lose myself in like Photoshop and stuff like that. But as well, I love like the OG kind of candle, like melting it, putting a podcast in, and just kind of like taking in the fragrance while I'm pouring it is very kind of, it's quite a calming thing for me to do in like a chaotic world. But it's kind of like it's kind of almost like a mindfulness thing that I do, just to kind of like pour candles every week and get them all lined up and ready. So yeah,
I know what you mean with the whole process of like with us as well. It's the whole making on the sewing machine. It's the whole packaging it as well, you know, and that's what's really lovely when you buy
Yeah.
something from somebody local and then, you know, it's even at a market or you send it by post. It's the, you know, the actual, all of that, what goes into it, isn't it, as well? The packaging, and it's your brand you're selling as well. It's not
Yeah.
just, it's not just a candle. It's your candle, it's your brand, it's everything else that goes into what goes into running a small business, isn't it? That people get when they see your product, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of whenever you like make a sale like in person or like online, it's kind of like it's that kind of validation of like, yay, like people love it, and you know
Yeah.
they love it enough to kind of like, you know, support your business. And especially after like the past few years and stuff, and it's been like so good to see so many other companies like spring up and kind of like try and follow their dreams and stuff. It's been really nice to see other people like being supported by like local communities and like the wider audience of online as well.
Yeah.
So
and you must as well with your candle as well. You must have a kind of following and people that are coming back now because they've run out of candles, wanting more, seeing what new products you've got as well as such.
yeah, it's really nice, especially when you get that kind of repeat custom and you're
Yeah.
just like, oh, hey, how's it going? Like we've
Yeah.
made so many lovely friendships with our customers.
Just, yeah.
And like even when we're like walking the dog, like we'll like see them in the street and stuff, and it's like it's
Yeah.
made where we live for the first time, wherever we've lived, feel like so homely and kind of
Yeah.
as if we're like back in our hometowns where like you grew up knowing pretty much everyone. So it's like it's really nice to get that kind of like community feeling from
Yeah.
just making your business, and it's great.
Definitely, definitely. It reminds me back in, you know, lockdown when we were making, you know, face masks, and our face masks were, you know, for everyone, and you name it, we had every different design on it. But some of the stories, you know, we had a guy that bought for his 90-year-old gran, and you know, and then he bought again, and it was just that thought of, you know, and another lady who was a nursery school teacher, and she had more of our face masks than she did shoes. But she would have different things in it. It might be ice creams, or it might be bumblebees, and all of that. And you know, that kind of people coming back. You know, they'd be, oh wow, what new stuff have you got? Because our face masks were giving people joy of wearing them, which was, you know, and coming back, which was lovely to see. So yeah, there were some lovely stories in that we absolutely love. So have you been working on anything new this year? Have you got anything you want to show or?
So our most recent product was
Yes.
the Mindful Edit, which is this, and they are 3 different essential oil blends.
Yep.
I don't know. And we really worked hard on these bad boys. So the 3 different fragrances is like Storyteller, Explorer, and Dreamer, and they're designed to uplift, comfort, and calm. And we've really tried to make them like immersive. So each one has like a QR code, and it takes you to like a page with like mindfulness tips and a playlist, and like and Kai and our friends made original songs to go with each one to complement the fragrance and kind of enhance the aromatherapy treatment of each one. So yeah, really, really proud of this little bad boy. Yeah.
I mean, I have to admit, you know, it was Gemma that had put me forward with you guys, and you know, the candle and what you've just explained there. I've been telling like loads of people about you guys because I just think it's so cool. I for one, you know, I'm sold already. You know, I can kind of, you know, sit there with a candle on, have some music working. You know, I'll probably chill right out. But it's really important as well, isn't it? I think because for our mindfulness and things like that as well, and you're just taking it to another extreme. I've never heard of anyone doing what you do, and just I think you're just going to help people as well. No, I think it's great. I do, and I just think that, and that's why straight away, you know, when I talked to you, and then you said about the music, and I thought, wow, because you're taking both your skills and you know, both of your skills together to actually bring something that's so unique that nobody else is doing, and that's just, I think, really great. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. No, I think it's fantastic. So
and especially with like essential oils, it's so many people like want to get into using them, and like, you know, there's so many essential oils out there, but it sometimes feels like you need to like have a degree to know like which one will do what and like how to use it. So we wanted to try and make it as easy and as accessible as
Yeah,
possible. So then people are kind of like, oh, I know what I need to do to
yeah,
make me feel X.
yeah,
So
definitely,
yeah.
definitely. It's funny, isn't it? Because we probably look back and probably a lot of that we think it. You know, I'm certain people think, oh God, it's a bit hippy dippy. It's all a bit whoa, you know, whatever. And I think, you know, and I
Yeah.
think there's so much of those things now that are people are now understanding and getting into and kind of thinking
Mm.
actually this is good for me. And even we've got businesses now that are coming on board who some of them you might think, oh God, embroidery, it's a little bit old fashioned. But what they're doing is they've really taken it and then made it like 3D, you know, and thought about how to make it kind of modern, which is kind of a really good thing to do. And there's a lot of people thinking of old stuff that people might kind of perceive as old fashioned or a bit, you know, hippy dippy or whatever. And then actually understanding it and actually and understanding it in a different way. And you guys are obviously a bit younger as well, so it's also teaching, you know, teaching people as well, and probably teaching, you know, young and older people about what aromatherapy oil can do for all different things in life as such,
Mm.
isn't it? There we go. So I go right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
No, but it's true. Like
yeah,
you got to teach where you can. You know, every day's a
yeah,
school day.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if somebody goes away going, well, you know, I can't sleep or blah, 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 what about, you know, and you talk to me about this, what about trying this? Or what about, you know,
Mm.
I have a spray I put on my pillow and it just knocks me, I love it, you know, and actually sometimes if I haven't put it on my pillow, I don't get such a good night's sleep, but it's just the
Yeah.
lavender and whatever, and it works for
Yeah.
me. So, you know, it's,
Yeah.
you know,
But it
which is
really
great.
does because
Yeah.
like I was at a market and one of the traders that we're like pals with she was saying like, oh God, I'm such a insomniac, I can't sleep, blah 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 blah. And I was like, here, try this, put it in a diffuser and you know, put it on before bed, listen to Calm, because me and Kai we've like discovered the Calm app recently and it is a game changer. Like I'm asleep in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And yeah, the next market she came up and she was like, you've changed my life.
Yeah.
With the Dreamer essential oil and the calming music as well. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's just yeah.
Yeah. I've got one of those,
Witchy.
one of those rollerball, you know, roller things. It's got a roll, and I kind of sometimes I'd have that if I was at an event or something. Sometimes I would just stick a little under my nose, and it would just zap me up, or I put it on my pulse points, and it would just that little
Mm,
lift, you know, that you'd get that, you know, that would sort of help, you know. So yeah, definitely.
yeah.
So we have loads of people on today, which is absolutely great. Lots of people that
Ah,
work with us and things, which is
hello
lovely.
everyone.
Yeah, there's loads. I mean, I love it. The only thing is, you see all of them, but when it ends, you can't see who's on it. So it's really nice to see so many. Probably a lot of people for you as well, but also people that are going to be doing some of these 10 later with me. So we have an ethos. It's all about customer service. I think I bang on about it quite a lot, but it's really important to understand our brand, and it's about having, you know, we want to talk about customer service as well, but also to be friendly, creative and unique. Is there a kind of an ethos or a saying or something that you work with?
Yeah, so it's kind of mindfully made always. So
Oh,
it's kind of everything that we do, we're always trying to kind of make it mindfully, whether it's like the packaging being recyclable or
yeah,
like, you know, the products itself is like eco-friendly, and as well, like, you know, just the way that we go about business is quite like mindful, and as well
yeah,
to like really develop the products. And you know, like I was saying with the essential oils and the playlists and original songs, it's kind of, we want to really kind of develop the products as much as we can and always try and like improve on our past best. So yeah, because I feel
yeah.
like you're never finished developing.
No,
And it's always like,
no,
it's fun as well. Like
yeah,
you're your own boss, you can do what you want. So
yeah, yeah,
it's like,
definitely,
might as
yeah.
well. Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. And developing is really, really important. Developing, changing, learning, you know, and it's so great. I see it at the markets, and you know, I want to see, you know, what have you got new, and if it's just the same stuff that you had last time, or you know, or some people just the way they set up their table different ways so that the customer feels excited. It's funny sometimes
Mm.
where you know, having a retail background of where you'd set things up in the shop and you'd move them all around, the best sellers, all of that. It's all exactly the same when you have a table set up. We're trying to take all those the retail
it's like
skills
it's a
we have.
window dressing, isn't it? Like visual merchandising. Yeah,
I don't miss that. Having to dress 6 mannequins, then you know you'd have to send it to head office pictures, and then that turn, you know, the trouser needs to be a certain way, the blouse needs to be. Oh, it would just drive me insane.
Yeah.
I remember one time I was kind of wrapped up in this mannequin trying to get the arm off, and kind of Rob walked in the shop and surprised me while I had my kind of hand up this mannequin. Oh, it was just, don't miss that at all. So, what are your goals and dreams? I'd say for this year or beyond.
Yeah. So, first off, we are redesigning our wax melts, because currently they're in like recycled plastic and they are recyclable, but we're wanting to get rid of all the plastic in them. So we've sent designs off to printers and we're just waiting for the boxes to come back, and then launch them, which is really exciting. And we're going to do it across all 12 fragrances as well, which in the past we've only done it over, I think, like 6, and as well, to kind of enhance it, I've like done individual drawings for each one on the packaging to kind of get across the scent and, like, you know, what's in it. And it's the first time that we've used color, because we're quite a monochrome brand, but like there's like a little sliver around the edge to try and correlate to the fragrance, because, like, you know, you look with your eyes, and color is it's a good way of kind of like getting the fragrance across. So I'm really proud of like the way that they're looking, and can't wait to share soon. So
excellent.
Hopefully
when do you see that being?
Well, hopefully soon. So probably by the next market that we're at with you guys, you'll be able to have a mooch and see them all.
Excellent. Brilliant. So who would you say is your support network?
So me and Kai, we like support each other on like a day-to-day basis, along with like our four-legged little friend Ezra. But also our like family and friends, we're always like messaging them, like showing them kind of like mock-ups and designs, and kind of like, oh, what do you think about this, or what do you think about that, and sending them like little samples of product to be like, all right, blind test it, like which one do you like with the mindful edit. We started off with 7 blends, and we like sent them all out to our friends and family, and we're just like, right, what do you like? 1, 2, 3, 4, blah blah blah, and that really helped us, you know, really focus our attention on what works. And as well with the music side of things, 2 of our friends, Becky and Liv, they sung on the songs for the mindful edit as well. So it was really quite a collaborative effort as well. We couldn't do it without them. So as well, like the Instagram community has been like so welcoming and like supportive, like over the years, like, you know, from when we like first started, and we like, I look back at like some of the original pictures and like products, and I'm like, oh god, like people bought it back then. But it's like it's good that like people were so supportive, and really kind of gave us the oomph to carry on, because it's hard doing like your own business. It's it's an uphill struggle, but you know, it definitely makes it worthwhile.
It's weird you say that. I remember like with us as Dapper Suave and how we've changed and developed. You know, we've got our own candle range, our own skincare. We've written, you know, our first children's book that's out and all of that. But even just when we first set up, we used to have like these lapels that we'd make to go onto like your suits and jackets. And we displayed them on the back of baking trays, you know, like, oh my God, you know, like, and IKEA things are like, God almighty. Now, you know, we have a shop in a box. Our carpenter has built this box that opens up.
Yeah, no, I saw it. Looks amazing.
But sometimes some of the stuff, and equally as well, I think there was a time when we just had too much stuff. And like now, you know, like, we've just had the best week ever on Etsy. We're just as Rob can make our cravats, they are flying out the window, and it's cravats, the pocket squares to match, which is brilliant. But also, I think it's because now we've toned it down. We have a limited choice. We work with designers, where back in the days it was fabric that we get from charity shops, or we'd find it, you'll cut up old skirts and all sorts of stuff. And now it's changed a lot, but also it's that way of learning and developing, isn't it? Which is it's all about that as well, which is great.
Yeah, definitely.
And just as well with you guys, isn't it? It's just getting out there and then speaking to the customers, finding what they want and what they like, so that each time you can kind of, if people are telling you, if there's a lot of people saying the same thing, then you kind of use that to kind of help you guys, isn't it, as such?
Yeah. And as well, like even just like the small little comments, like that are just like, oh, like I like this more, or that, or I don't really like this. And like if you listen to that, and then you can make like better decisions in the future. But if you just kind of like, oh well, they don't know what they're on about, like I'm just kind of carry on like headstrong in my direction, like sometimes you should listen to like what other people have to say, because you're not always right.
They're not always right as well, and you're finding some of the comments that some people will tell you, you're just like, okay, and just you let it over your head. And there are other times you go, actually that's a really good point, but sometimes you sort of smile and because they don't really understand what it is to run a small business, and I think they think it's and that's why with our events we shout out about you guys to shout out that you've made it, because I think I'm quite I look at some of the quality and go wow, and it's almost of you guys going, we make this, because I think some people almost forget that it is that you've made it yourself as such, which
well, that's the thing. At the weekend, like yesterday, I was at a market near Victoria, and it happened about like 4 times where people were just like, oh, is this like a umbrella kind of company, like a bit like Avon kind of thing? I was like, no, this is ours, this is our own product. And then as soon as I said that, they were just like, oh my god, that's amazing. Like, but that's the thing, because we try and make it look like as professional as we can, like getting barcodes and making space for like wholesale orders as well. It's like we're trying to really make it into like a legitimate business. And that was Ezra running off in the back.
Then that's why as I think I've said before, as things have changed in people's perspective of shopping, it's no longer just sort of standing there and not talking to customers. It's actually stopping them and actually telling them that. I don't think I can express that enough. And the amount of times that you look at something and go, wow, and then like you just said, an umbrella company or whatever, you think that it's a chain or a franchise. There was somebody contacted me about something the other day, and I now realise it's a franchise. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm not, don't want to get involved with that because it's not original.
Well, it kind of it'll then take away from like the magic of like all your independent traders that like really like put their blood, sweat, and tears into the products that they make and create.
Exactly.
And
I think,
but and as well, like them big companies, they would have started off small at some point. So I don't know. It's good to see when like they do get big and stuff. But I looked at this. There's certain people that make gin, and I won't name them, but there were some people that a company that's gone really big, and I wouldn't touch them with a barge pole to do our event, because at an event you go, they're everywhere, and it just they're there, you get the free glass, and it's there, and it's not it's about smaller smaller businesses who actually care, because you look at it and they're at, I don't know, 7 different events on one day, because it's just here, there, and everywhere. But a lot of people say, what about them? I'm like, no, they're not for me at all. So what was that man with a big box there, Bloom and Wild, the postman? I had to talk to him the other day, because our postman's on holiday, and usually I'm sat here like a madman talking to the screen or whatever. So I had to explain, I'm not mad if you see me in the window. So So what events are you doing with Curated by Dapper Suave? Well, I've got a list here. So we are at your May 15th, which really looking forward to, because that's our first event with you guys. and then we're at Gilding's Barn on the 22nd and 23rd of June. And when I came to see it for your birthday party thing, it was incredible. I can't wait. It's going to be such a great event. Like, really looking forward to it. And then your July wedding event on the 10th. Yeah, because we've done quite a lot for our friends' weddings in the past, like, where we've like centered the space. We've done like little wedding favors. So we're really excited to do a wedding event because we've never done a show dedicated to weddings, and we love that, like doing stuff for weddings, because as well with like fragrance, it's such a great way to remember a time or a day, so then you can relive your wedding day, the happiest day of your life, and get a candle, get a scent solution, put it in a diffuser, and you're back on cloud nine. And then so after that, we've got the 23rd of October. So it's all Halloween and spooky. It's very on brand for us. And then your Christmas one again at Gilding's Barn on the 7th and 8th of December. So it's a full year at Dapper Suave in a house like this.
And also it was because when I, with you guys as well, we have got other candle makers and whatever, but there's, we would look at it where, there might be, I don't know, 3 or 4 other candles, but we know that as a customer, they like, like different things. And we know that because of you being so unique of what you do, there's chances for everyone. And like you've just said, the whole, the wedding and celebration one, that's a really, this one, there's less kind of people, so it gives you the chance to shine, but also it's thinking outside the box. If that person's come along for a wedding and also celebration, of how you would, use your business for that. And it's really, I am kind of banging on to the people doing it. Just really think outside the box of that customer and what they might be looking for. Because we've all got events in our lives that it's not necessarily a wedding. It could be anything, anniversary, birthday, you name it, christenings, all of that. So, so it's, I'm quite looking forward to that one as well. I'm looking forward to all of them.
And as well, like what you were saying with having different, like say candle brands, for example, like they're all going to have different fragrances, and scent is such a, someone will smell one thing and love it, and then the next person will like hate it, and so there's always space for more creativity, I think.
Definitely, and
Diptyque wouldn't throw a hissy fit if Joe Malone was next to him in a in a department store, because that's just how it is, isn't it? Like
and it's really weird, isn't it? When you look, when you go into the fragrance store, like in Selfridges, they're all there together. They're all sort of like they're competing, because also you come in and you look and we've all got our own scent, our own smell. I mean, I have to say, I've been wearing Obsession for Calvin Klein since I was 17, so a few years. And even at the party today, I had somebody go, "Wow, you smell amazing." I thought, I've been wearing this for 30 odd years now. So probably, and it's that as well, where other people,
and that's your signature scent, though, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. We've all got our own things we like, we've got our own things we don't like, and there'll be artwork there. There'll be, and that's what I've said when we're curating these events. I look at that 5-year-old person up to 95-year-old, and it's trying to think of that different people coming in, of what they might like. And they might not like all the jewellery, they might like all the food. Maybe they do like the food, actually, half the time, the cakes and the cookies. But, it's just, we're all different, individuals and human beings. And, so definitely there's for everyone as well. And, and also at the moment, as I said earlier, we used to have a big range of of jewellery, and Christmas, 17 people want to do it, and we're only taking on 5. And that's, and maybe later on, because our Christmas one is the only one where we've got quite a lot of spaces left, but we're hanging out for kind of new businesses that are working with us later on, which then just gives it that bit more choice as well. So the last question, with a trumpet. I don't know why I did that, sorry. So why did you choose to work with us?
Well, so like what you said earlier, Gemma at Pure Mess, she was at a
Yes.
market with us, and she was just like, "Oh, you need to check out Dapper and Suave," and like told me about you guys, and I was like, "They sound amazing." Then checked you guys out, messaged you, and yeah, I just really like that you're really mindful with how you create your markets,
Yeah.
and like the marketing, like you're really thorough with it. It's amazing to see, like, you know, you've even got like beer coasters and put them in pubs, and you know, you
Yeah.
really like take it seriously that this is like, it's a business for you, and you're helping other businesses, like say,
Yeah.
you know, the
Yes.
80 businesses that you've now got on your books. And
Yeah.
you know, it's really nice to see that like you're really dedicated to
Yeah.
it. And you
Yeah.
and Rob are like lovely guys too, so it's
Thank you. Yeah.
always helps
Yeah.
when like the organizers are really like friendly and as open as you guys are.
Yeah.
And yeah, really looking forward to doing our
Thank you.
first market
Yeah.
with you guys.
Yeah, I think as
Um,
well, you know, you've got the next step now of, you know, we've sent out to you guys the kind of, you know, the flyers and bits. The next bit will be we sit down, and now we sit there, a floor plan, we work out where everyone's going to be, you know, in the room. We, you know, making sure, you know, with you guys, we're making sure that you're with somebody that's maybe worked with us before. But obviously this one, half of you are actually brand new, which is just mind blowing. That is
mm,
just, you know, so it's not, you know, not just you come along, I'm new. It's like, well, there's quite a few people who are new. And then we send that out. You've got the floor plan. You get to know all the other businesses, and, you know, just the
yeah,
little extra things that we do to kind of, yeah, I think, yeah. And obviously the promotion bits that will be going on. I mean, in the next sort of, just after Easter now, we'll be really kind of, you know, it will be on Instagram, the people that we know that support us, they'll be shouting out about it. So yeah,
yeah,
there's a lot we do, but also, you know, even still, there'll be that one person that will come to our event and they'll go, I don't know anything about Curated by Dapper Suave. I don't know anything about this event. And you're like,
but
oh
now
my
they
God.
do.
Yeah, yeah. And it's like, tell me why, how you don't know about this event. So, yeah, it's always a
Yeah,
challenge. But, yeah, so
mm.
we will see you May the 15th, which is kind of, God, it's only a month away now, isn't it? So it's really
Yeah,
exciting because, you know, we've had, you know, I say doing these again, it was 5 months ago that we did our last 10 at 10. And I've got so many people now to go through and talk to, which is really good, you know. So we've got this going on, and, you know, the countdown and all of that will happen. So, yeah, so this will
and
be
as well,
shared,
it's so amazing that you can like do these 10 at 10s, because it's it's a great way of like having a little insight into all the different traders. Like, you know, when you're at a
Yes.
market, like some people just like walk on by, and with this they can kind of take the time and like get to
Yeah.
know the brands
Yeah.
and like, you know, understand it a bit more. And I
Yeah.
think it's really great. And especially like, you know, there's some like newer companies that don't know how to shout out about their specialness. It's like, it's a really good way for the new companies to, you know,
Definitely.
get their story across, because there's so many
Yeah.
great stories out there that you never fully hear or understand, and it's such a good thing that you guys are doing this.
Thank you.
So yeah,
Thank you.
really
Yeah,
impressed.
so we will, anyone as well, see Jay. Will Kai be at the May event with you?
Hopefully,
Yeah.
yeah. If not,
Cool.
it'll just be me, but we shall see. It depends if we can
Yeah.
get doggy daycare for little
Yeah.
Ezra,
Yeah,
because he
I understand.
cannot be left on his own.
It's really hard for me because when we do the events, I am curated by, I am the host of it. So I don't have, you know, loads of people, oh, how's Rob doing? It's Dapper Suave. So I'm not there as Dapper and Suave. I'm curated by Dapper Suave, which I know, and I miss it because I love the whole selling of it. Even at Gilding's Barn, I'm still there as the host because I interact with you guys, with the customers. But I do like, you know, we've got our first event at the end of April actually at the tunnel. So I can be Dapper Suave because I enjoy the selling. It's you know, it's that buzz you get from it. It's but yeah,
and
I'll
as
be
well
there.
for the past 2 years or so with like all the lockdowns, it's like it's been so easy to be like really insular and like not get that kind of like face-to-face time with like chatting to people and stuff.
Yes.
So yeah,
Yeah.
it's nice to kind of get back out into the world. And
oh God, yeah, yeah. And what's lovely is people have seen this and then they'll know you and, oh, I've seen the chat. And, you know, I know so many people who are doing these chats who have gone and looked at other people, businesses that are similar to theirs, and said, oh, I really like that chat. Because what I do is even like when after this phone call, I've got a couple of new businesses, but here's the information. You know, I want you to get to know me. I want to get to know you. And it's quite funny where at the moment there's people that, you know, they're like, well, I found you on social media, but then they're not following us. I'm like, what's that about? You know, somebody the other day has no Instagram, no website, no Facebook, and they're on Etsy, and I'm just like, oh no, and it wasn't quite right. So, you know, and it's finding that right balance as well. So this will be shared obviously onto Instagram as well. It'll go onto our YouTube channel. It'll go onto LinkedIn and Facebook. So lots of other ways there. Just you know, and that's just something extra that we do, that, you know, just to get out there, because also it's you know, we can't be curated by Dapper Suave without the amazing businesses like yourself. So when, you know, people say, we used to have it before when we were handpicked for Dorking, what is handpicked for Dorking? And we kind of struggle, what is handpicked for Dorking? And that was when the name changed to Curated, because it's all in the name. We curate the events, you know, and I can't express that enough when people kind of, well, I want to blah blah do the event. It's like, well, no, we curate it. You don't just say, oh, I'm doing it. There we go. Rob's sat here ready to post it. There we go. So I'll get off the phone and then he'll post it on there. There we go. He's in the background making me look good, which he does quite a lot. So there's a lot of stuff that you know, I am the face of Curated, but he does, you know, the spreadsheets, all of that behind, which I do thank him for. He knows it anyway. So there we go. Anyway, really great to speak to you, and
it was
see
lovely
you
to
May
speak
the
to you
15th. Take care.
Yeah,
Have a lovely week.
cool.
Bye bye.
Bye, you too. See ya.
Bye
Bye.
bye.